Namaste. I kindly welcome you all for the meditation through the works of Divine Mother and Sri Aurobindo. I kindly invite you all to connect ourselves by closing our eyes, thinking the Divine Mother and Sri Aurobindo inside us, and offer everything we hear thereon as a offering to the inner divine. So let us chant Om as an offering 5 times, and then we shall start our meditation. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Aravindaya. Om Anandamayi. Om Chaitanyamayi. Om Satyamayi. Om Parame. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Mantras of the Mother. 10th September. The Divine is the savor of all life and the reason of all activity, the goal of our thoughts. With my blessings, Mother. 11th September. The Divine's peace must dwell constantly in our hearts. With my blessings, Mother. Prayers and meditations. September 10, 1914. Thy love is like a rising tide, invading the entire being and breaking upon all things. Lord, thy love will penetrate all hearts and kindle in them the divine flame which never goes out, the divine beauty which does not fade, and above every contrast and contradiction. It will establish in all that unchanging bliss which is the supreme good. Thy light is like a rising tide, invading the entire being and breaking upon all things. Lord, thy light will penetrate all thoughts and create in them that sovereign clarity which does not waver, the divine clear-sightedness which never errs, and above every contrast and contradiction. It will establish in all the splendor of thy knowledge, which is the supreme wisdom. Thy force is like a rising tide, invading the entire being and breaking upon all things. Lord, thy force will penetrate all life and create in it the effective strength which never fails, the divine power which is invincible, and above every contrast and contradiction, it will establish in all thy mastering energy, which is the supreme will. We offer these mantras to the Divine Mother and Sri Aurobindo, who is in the form of flame inside us. I kindly request each one of you, offer what you hear inside you, the divine flame. Let it be a offering of all your aspiration. Sri Aurobindo on himself. Sadhana for the earth consciousness. 15/9/1935. Sri Aurobindo and Superman. I don't know that I have called myself a Superman, but certainly I have risen above the ordinary human mind. Otherwise, I would not think of trying to bring down the supermind into the physical. Object of seeking the supermind. to 1935. These egoistic terms are not those in which my vital moves. It is a higher truth I seek. Whether it makes men greater or not is not the question, but whether it will give them truth and peace and light to live in and make life something better than a struggle with ignorance and falsehood and pain and strife. Then, even if they are less great than the men of the past, my object will have been achieved. For me, mental conceptions cannot be the end of all things. I know that the supermind is a truth. It is not for personal greatness that I am seeking to bring down the supermind. I care nothing for greatness or littleness in the human sense. I am seeking to bring some principle of inner truth, light, harmony, peace into the earth consciousness. I see it above and know what it is. I feel it ever gleaming down on my consciousness from above, and I am seeking to make it possible for it to take up the whole being into its own native power, instead of the nature of man continuing to remain in half light, half darkness. I believe the descent of this truth, opening the way to a development of divine consciousness, here to be the final sense of the earth evolution. If greater men than myself have not had this vision and this ideal before them, that is no reason why I should not follow my truth sense and truth vision. If human reason regards me as a fool for trying to do what Krishna did not try, I do not in the least care. There is no question of X or Y or anybody else in that. It is a question between the divine and myself, whether it is the divine will or not, whether I am sent to bring that down or open the way for its descent, or at least make it more possible or not. Let all men jeer at me if they will, or all hell fall upon me if it will for my presumption. I go on till I conquer or perish. This is the spirit in which I seek the supermind. No hunting for greatness for myself or others. May 1933. My point about my sadhana was that my sadhana was not done for myself but for the earth consciousness as a showing of the way towards the light, so that whatever I showed in it to be possible, inner growth, transformation, manifesting a new faculties, etc., was not of no importance to anybody, but meant as an opening of lines and ways for what had to be done. The question of degree of greatness does not come in at all. Let us offer the words to the light or a flame or a peace inside us. Works of the Divine Mother. The sunlit path. Ask the Divine. If, for example, one wants to know something, or one needs guidance, or something else, how can have it from the Divine according to one's need? By asking the Divine for it. If you do not ask Him, how can you have it? If you turn to the Divine and have full trust and ask Him, you will get what you need. Not necessarily what you imagine you need, but the true thing you need you will get. But you must ask Him for it. You must make the experiment sincerely. You must not endeavor to get it by all sorts of external means and then expect the Divine to give it to you without even having asked Him. Indeed, when you want somebody to give you something, you ask Him for it, don't you? And why do you expect the Divine to give it to you without your having asked Him for it? Finding the Divine. Sweet Mother, how can we find the Divine who is hidden us? Who is hidden in us? This we have explained many times, but the first thing is to want it and know precisely that this comes first. Before all other things, that this is the important thing. This is the first condition. All the rest may come later. This is the essential condition. You see, if once in a while, from time to time, when you have nothing to do and all goes well and you are unoccupied, suddenly you tell yourself, I would like so much to find the divine. Well, this, it may take 100,000 years in this way. But if it is the important thing, the only thing that matters, and if everything else comes afterwards, and you want nothing but this, then this is the first condition. You must first establish this. Later, we may speak of what follows. First, this, that all the rest does not count, that only this counts, that one is ready to give up everything to have this, that it is the only thing of importance in life. Then one puts oneself in the condition of being able to take a step forward. We offer this to the Divine Mother inside us. Life Divine by Sri Aurobindo, page 96. Does the range of what we can call consciousness cease with the plant? With that in which we recognize the existence of a sub-animal life? If so, we must then suppose that there is a force of life and consciousness originally alien to matter, which has yet entered into and occupied matter, perhaps from another world. The notes for this: the curious speculation is now current that life entered earth not from another world, but from another planet. To the thinker, that would explain nothing. The essential question is how life comes into matter at all, and not how it enters into the matter of a particular planet. Page 97. For whence otherwise can it have come? The ancient thinkers believed in the existence of such other worlds, which perhaps sustain life and consciousness in ours, or even call it out by their pressure, but do not create it by their entry. Nothing can evolve out of matter which is not therein already contained. But there is no reason to suppose that the gamut of life and consciousness fails and stops short in that which seems to us purely material. The development of recent research and thought seems to point to a sort of obscure beginning of life and perhaps a sort of inert or suppressed consciousness in the metal and in the earth and in other inanimate forms, or at least the first stuff of what becomes consciousness in us may be there. Only while in the plant we can dimly recognize and conceive the thing that I have called vital consciousness, the consciousness of matter, of the inert form, is difficult indeed for us to understand or imagine. And what we find it difficult to understand or imagine, we consider it our right to deny. As we all know, Life Divine is a mantra. We offer what we heard to the light inside us as an offering from the Master to the Master. Prayer to Sri Aurobindo. To thee who has been the material envelope of our Master, to thee our infinite gratitude. Before thee who has done so much for us, who has worked, struggled, suffered, hoped, endured so much. Before thee who has willed all, attempted all, prepared, achieved all for us. Before thee we bow down and implore that we may never forget, even for a moment, all we owe to thee. Prayer to the Spirit of Aurobindo. As the program is being conducted from Aurobindo, it has a special significance. Those who are tied as a representative to spread peace and happiness to the people and the world and to the entire humanity around you. So let us offer our thanks and gratitude for this glorious time blessed by the Spirit of Aurobindo in form of a prayer. Dear Mother, let there be peace, peace upon all the earth. May all escape from the ordinary consciousness and be delivered from the attachment for material things. May they awake to the knowledge of Thy divine presence, unite themselves with Thy supreme consciousness, and taste the plenitude of peace that springs from it. Lord, Thou art the sovereign master of our being. Thy law is our law, and with all our strength we aspire to identify our consciousness with Thy eternal consciousness, that we may accomplish Thy sublime work in each thing and at every moment. Lord, deliver us from all care for contingencies. Deliver us from the ordinary outlook on things. Grant that we may henceforth see only with Thy eyes and act only by Thy will. Transform us into living torches of Thy divine love, with reverence, with devotion, in a joyful consecration of our whole being. We give ourselves, O Lord, to the fulfillment of Thy law. Peace, peace upon all the earth. I thank each one of you for your esteemed presence and connectivity and part of this global gathering for goodness and joy and protection from the divine. We offer everything to the divine light who is inside us in the form of light, peace, and joy. Let us carry this peace and joy until we meet next time. Let the light be always on. Let the joy be spread to all, and let the peace may be doubled to whoever in touch of you all. And we chant Om and offer to the Mother and Sri Aurobindo. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Lord. Thanks, my dear other selves. Greetings from Aurobindo. Thank you.